I want to thank everybody for tuning into my podcast, my first podcast, What's Your Grind, with host Keith Burroughs. It's been a long time coming. I've always wanted to do podcasting, and I'm finally here. My very first sponsor for this podcast is I Love Good Human, the clothing line. We are so proud to interview Femi Swint, the entrepreneur, investor, and real estate mogul today on our first episode. Good Human Clothing. You can check them out on Instagram at I Love Good Human. Man, thank y'all. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
Our Grind Nation podcast. What's your grind like?
What's your grind like? What's your grind like? What you grind like? What's your grind like? What's your grind like? What you grind like? What's your grind like? What's your grind like? What you grind like? What's your grind like? What's your grind like? What you grind like? What's your grind like? What's your grind like? What you grind like? What's your grind like? What's your grind like? What you grind like?
Man, what's going on? Welcome to podcast number 1. It's my first podcast. This is Keith Burroughs. It's the What's Your Grind podcast. On this podcast, we're going to uncover tips and tricks from entrepreneurs, and we're going to discover what they are doing and what's that secret sauce that's making them who they are. Listen, I'll talk a lot, but I'm going to get straight to it. My guy, please introduce yourself to everybody.
I'm Femi Swint from Mitchell Blake Construction, Loveville Clothing Wear, / investor / contractor / GC / I wear a lot of hats.
Slash everything. You slash everything out here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So before I get into the logistics of what you do and all the hats that you wear, I want to let the people know how we met. I met Mr. Swint maybe a year and a half ago.
I think it was longer than that.
You think so?
Yeah, I met you through the girl Shanita Blue gave me your number.
Oh my God! Shout out Shanita Blue if you watching this.
Shanita good folks.
Yeah,
she good people.
Super networker.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, bro. So yeah, we've met a while back.
Yeah, because it was before. It was like, you got to think, it was before COVID, because that's when I came up with the idea for Spike TV and Spike TV Media and Entertainment.
Yo, time is flying. It's crazy.
I know, it's like we hit the 40s and the shit just hit.
Yeah.
It go crazy, right?
Fast tracked. Yeah, man. I met Femi, and just instantly it was just like, he's a resource. You know, a lot of people look at what I do as a resource, or like what I'm doing like I'm plugged in, but this man is plugged in. And you know, when people that's plugged in speak, you got to be quiet. You got to shut up. You got to listen. That's I think a big problem with our community, when you don't recognize who the plug is, and you still want to keep talking about everything. So how would you get it? Let's talk about Mitchell Blake Construction. That's one of your projects. That's one of the / Femi Swints.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how you came up with it, and give me a little bit of background and history about your construction company.
I actually always done it all my life. Like, I've did it with my uncle, may he rest in peace, Alan Dixon, with Dixon Construction. So like over the summers, I used to work with him and his father, who had it was a big cement man. So I've always did it over the summers. Like, that was like my summer job.
So you grew up surrounded by this industry, and it was Dixon.
Yes.
Construction. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's how I did it. They're like, we're married then. cousin slash brother was married to his daughter, to Nil. So that's how, like, but I've known them prior. Like, my mother and them, like, they grew up from the neighborhood, so I always worked with them. I look at them like family.
Yeah, that's cool. Shout out to them. Tell me, what initially sparked your passion? Because I know you said that you grew up around it, but when did you make it your own? Like, the passion for doing construction and construction products?
Actually, it was like I worked for like I used to work for like a couple like builders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was okay. It was cool. I think what made me realize my passion was me and my ex-wife, we bought a house on Monterey Avenue. And shout out to one of the best realtors in the world, John Street. Not John Street the mayor, John Street the white guy from Conshohocken. So people don't confuse it. I bought a house. We sold us a house, and like I turned it around like in a year and a half. Like, me and my wife was just, we bought it at the time, and for our kids in East Monterey, a nice neighborhood. Thinking about the school district, and when he came back and saw it, when I was like, I think I need to move. And he's like, who did the work? I was like, me and a couple of my guys did the work. And he was like, damn, you think about doing this shit full time? And I was like, nah, not really. Then he came and brought me some jobs, and it just took off from there. And it was just like, and during this, when the housing market started crashing. So I was able to, I wasn't over leveraged like a lot of people was. So I was kind of cash heavy at the time. So I was able to, people that was over leveraged, take control of gaining their properties due to that. And even during that time, it's not like they call it a recession and stuff like this now. And the recession is when more, you have more than, believe it's 3 to 4 months of negative, no gains in the stock market or whatever. But I've made my most money during the recessions. Like, you got to just be meticulous, and you have to be calculating on how you move. You know what I mean? You can't just be buying up anything and everything. It has to make sense, and people don't understand. And you can't over leverage yourself.
Right.
Like, I had guys that went to Harvard and all kinds of places that over leveraged and took you know what I mean? Because the banks promote that.
Right.
They promote.
Right. They make the most money at that time too. Listen, I'm so glad you even transitioned into this because
my ultimate goal is to become the bank.
Right.
I don't want to be doing construction and shit no more like this. I want to become the bank. I've seen too many guys, you can get wealthy just by, like what happens, they don't pay you. You take their fucking property. You know what I mean? So.
Quick question. So, the format of this podcast is for the people at home, right? And I want to know if someone was interested to even spark the interest of doing something that you like what you're doing, where would they get started? How would they get started?
Well, first you have to take a trade. Like, you have to take some kind of trade. Like, even girls I know that do it, they all went to some kind of trade school, one or another. And to be a GC, you have to know everyone's job. So either it's going to be a lot of reading.
For the people that don't know what GC is, let them know.
General contractor. So either it's going to be a lot of reading or a lot of watching on TV or learning on YouTube or going to school. And I always suggest everybody go to school because you get the social, you get the network with people there, and everybody has the same goal when you do go to school. So I actually went to Temple Fox Business School for it, so that's how I was able. But I already had a basic idea of construction because I was already doing it prior to that point.
What kind of challenges do you face while in the construction industry, especially as a black man?
I think, like, it's funny because I had like a couple clients that I did, and people told me like, oh, you're great for a black contractor. Or you'll hear that a lot. Like, you're a great black contractor, not just a contractor, like not knowing I have some white motherfuckers that work for me. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like
so, on payroll.
On payroll, but like they're quick to say that. Like, you know what I mean? It's about the challenges of starting. It's not really, I would say first educate yourself. You have to educate yourself and make sure this is something you want to do, because this job, like being a GC, is sometimes is, they say, oh, thank God it's Friday, but I had a saying that sometimes every day can feel like Monday when you're your own boss and your own GC. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say for people at home, educate yourself. Make sure there's something you want to do, because people will try to, oversell you stuff, or, and you got to make sure what you're doing, because at the end of the day, it's to make a profit if you're thinking about getting into it.
Absolutely.
As a GC, you make money on all products you sell and the labor you sell. You know what I mean? But you have to do it within means. It can, if you're doing it like for like government size, they have like the RS, I believe it's the RS, it's not RS, it's the, some kind of act that you can't overcharge. Like it's a federal.
So it's mandated.
Yeah, people go to jail for it. Like I learned about that in class. Like, yeah, I'm sorry I can't think of the name of it. I'll try to think of it and say it again.
We'll put it in the comments. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So how do you stay up to date? This is kind of like a design question. How do you stay up to date with the current trends of interior design when you're looking at a property? Let's just say you're flipping a property and you want to update the design so that you boost the value. How do you stay up to date with what's trending right now?
I look a lot on I read like a lot of Architectural Digest, reading, educating yourself. So I read Architectural Digest a lot. Also, if you can afford it, like you talk to an interior designer or try to learn things from them. I'll try to learn things from my engineers. It's just about being a sponge and being able to absorb, because like even today, I've been doing this for so long, and excuse me, and I still learn things every day.
Absolutely.
Every day.
So what I want to do, I want to take a quick break from talking about this and talk about this fly hoodie that I'm wearing. Good Human. Can you tell us about Good Human?
It was just something I saw. I got a good friend of mine. He's supposed to be here today. I don't know what happened. Kareem Young is his name.
Shout out Kareem Young.
So yeah, shout out to Kareem. That's my guy / business partner. And I just walked into a studio and I just saw it one day. I said, God dang, he was just like fucking around with it. And I'm looking at it like, damn, like, no, I kind of like that. Like, you know what I mean? And I was like, sell me that. Then I'm looking at it. Then I give him a call back, like, yo, what you need to get this shit rolling? We talked about it, discussed it, and like one thing about me, I'm a salesman. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I got a lot of connections throughout the United States, so I started making phone calls, and I said, yo, let's just get something put together in ink.
Yeah, listen.
And then go from there.
You work like a swift ninja, I tell you that much. you tell Femi an idea, he's gonna call you back and be like, if he like it, you're gonna know about it for sure.
Yeah, and it was just something
that's cool.
And it's crazy because, like I said, it's not all glamour, glitters, and gold. So I want people to understand, like, this shit is hard work. Like when you're your own boss and you got to work for yourself, you're responsible for other people. Mm-hmm. So like even with this, like it was like it could have came at a worse time, but it came at a better time, because now it's like sometimes God put things in front of you for a reason. You know what I mean? And it was like,
yeah.
And I had to tell him, because somebody was telling me, I said, well, what fuels, like, he was like, well, his passion is art. And I said, well, alhamdulillah. I said, well, we got to sell 1 million of these motherfuckers, so you can just sit back and do your passion as art, and we could do this shit when we want. Because I said the goal is, for me, is not to get up every day and do this shit. It's if I want to take 3 months off, I'm taking 3 months off. But my bills and everything is still paid, and I'm still living the caliber of life that I want to live. You know what I mean? So, like, this is something I believe in. He's been dope. This is my friend since I was like 11 years old. And most of the people that I deal with are long-term close friends. You know what I mean?
How do you get in contact to grab some of the gear?
We're still working on the site right now, because you got to get that handle for me.
I got you.
And about within the next few weeks, we'll have that put together.
So yeah, look out for it.
And we'll tag on the show, whatever, once we get everything up and running. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. But you can find some of this shit on Uglyville, but we're gonna have a website called Loveville, and like I told, me and him will do a photo shoot, get everything together, because it is starting to pick up, and it is starting to, people starting to ask about it, and I am marketing the shit out of it. So
it's a wonderful brand. It's first of all, the hoodie feels well made. And it's nice. It's nicely branded. And I'm not just talking about what's on the front. Behind the scenes, I saw a couple of other pieces, and I'm just totally amazed. So shout out to Good Human. Shout out to your man. And we definitely going to do some work behind the scenes with, our marketing platform to create some dope site to go with the dope clothes.
Also, we got good move self-care products coming along. So by Portia Monique. So we'll get that rocking too.
Let's
you know what I mean?
You feel like talking about that right now?
I mean, we can talk about it all, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. So
yes.
Okay. So all right. I don't know if I'm ready to even talk about that just yet. Listen, I'm gonna bring you back on and we're gonna talk about that.
All right, that's
all right.
cool.
We just listen. I got Femi Swint in the building. We making some really big moves, and the most important thing I want to leave with you guys is when someone has the resources and the knowledge, it's time to listen. Like, you gotta listen. You gotta sit back and soak it up so that you can learn, especially if they in the position to teach. Now, granted, sometimes business moguls are not in the mood to show you something or to teach. They're busy. They have things. They on their level. We on one level. There's a level below you. There's a level above you. You know, they're making moves on their level. So you want to make sure that you are respectful and that, sometimes you got to cut a check to get where you need to be. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, and it's always about wanting to invest in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, I always bet on myself. Like, you know, I'm like, you know what it is? Like, out here, like, I'm not loved by everyone. I'm liked by few. Loved by few, hated by many. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm like Tom Brady. You know what I mean? You might not want to see me win, but you won't bet against me. You know what I mean?
So as a entrepreneur, tell me some of the challenges that you have faced that in the past, like hindsight, hindsight is 20/20. So give me some things that you faced in the past that you ended up overcoming. And now you look back and like, whew, that's nothing.
I can tell you about what I went through now, jumping the gun too fast. I had a situation where me and someone had a couple houses already together, and someone else brought something to my attention where I thought I could knock a home run. I didn't knock the home run. You know what I mean? The home run I struck out. You know what I mean? My thing is not even, mind you, not that I just lost a lot of money and, things went sideways. I should have did what was in front of me first. So sometimes, like I tell people, sometimes I can move fast. Like he said, I am like a ninja. But as I learned from this valuable lesson, is to slow down. But don't be too slow, because if you're too slow, you can hurt yourself and you can miss the train. So you got to just be calculated, but you can't overthink, because sometimes overthinking can hurt yourself. And another thing I get tired of too with young people that ask me for stuff, if you're going to ask me for the advice, why the fuck do the opposite? What was the point of asking me this shit? And like what I tell people, I could tell people from every facet of how to get money. I could tell you how to go to the bank. I could tell you how to get your LLC going. I could tell you how to start your construction shit. It's no facet I can't talk to you about. And I don't charge you. I tell them for free. Because that's the thing. Like, people say I should monetize it because I'm giving it away. But I feel like if I'm going to monetize it, I'm not going to monetize it to us. I'm going to give it away to us for free. You know what I'm saying?
So look, let's do something small. Can you explain to the viewers what type of advice you would have with just starting a business? Like, okay, you got a good idea and you've set the idea up in your mind to say, today or tomorrow I'm going to start a business. What do I do?
Well, the first thing, if you're going to start a business, you got to first know what kind of business you're going to start. Me personally, you can use, I use InkFile. You can go to a business attorney. They can set it up for you. They're a little more. But I realize with business attorneys, they're a little more, your company is a little more guarded than if you go through InkFile. InkFile.
I love InkFile, by the way. Shout out InkFile.
So they use a basic, but attorney would have you a little more insulated than InkFile does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
But you pay for that. It's a lot more, than what InkFile would charge you. But I'm a big fan of InkFile. I like them better than what's the other
Big
one?
Fast. InkFile,
what's the the other
LegalZoom.
one. LegalZoom. I like Ink, and they give you better numbers.
Yeah, InkFile numbers are crazy. Just listen, guys. INCFILE. .com. You put your phone number in, and it will guide you step by step to starting a business, whether it's a LLC, A Corp, S Corp. Like,
Yeah, you'll see these people charging $1,000 to help you do it. That's all the hell they doing is that.
yeah, they walking you right through it, through ink file. So, yeah. So, all right. So, listen. First off,
First off is getting your LLC.
get your LLC. Yep.
And then it depends on your credit. If you got decent credit, first open up a bank account. I don't care how your credit is, they're gonna give you a bank account.
Yeah.
Then it's to open up lines of credit with the whatever's in the LLC, long as you're able to get it. And that's how they, and it's not hard. You just open up your business, go to the bank. If your credit's solid, if not, work on it. If not, I got people I can have that can help you out with that. You know what I mean? Get your credit together.
All right. So, are these a couple of resources that you'll be able to share in the comment section for people who's looking?
Absolutely.
Now, can people contact you? Are you available to, maybe mentor a couple of people?
Absolutely, especially if they're minorities.
All right. So before I even get to how people get in contact with you, let me know what your future goals and aspirations are currently right now.
My future goals and aspirations, I got something I'm working on. Hopefully I have by this summer coming up called the Dream Team. And the investors are black minorities. And mine just want to be 5 of us, so I'm calling it the Dream Team. I might make it 7 because you do have some backups. But, and I just want to start buying up buildings. Like, people don't understand. Like, I think right now, I don't know if they don't see what I see, because like before I even build a new house or look at a new house, like in new areas, I always go by the census reports. So like right now, I hear people talking about Cleveland. No, Detroit is where it's at. And you go to Detroit, they're like, oh no, they used to be. Nah, y'all still obtainable.
Right.
Because they're like, we look at them like we're New Yorkers to them. Like, how New Yorkers came down here and started buying up
everything.
Yeah, Detroit Detroit's gonna be the wave. Plus I like their landscape. Like, to go out to their hoods, and their hoods they got grass, semi-detached garages. I'm like, this is the hood?
I need to pay attention to this.
And I'm like, this is like, I was telling somebody, like, even when I bought my first houses off my uncle back in I don't know what the fuck they called that shit. It was like, I don't know if it wasn't the bottom. It was like 30th and Jefferson, around there, when it was bad. Like, he just sold me his houses because he was like, yeah. So it's called Burytown now. Now you can't fucking touch it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know if I had a foresight or if this, and I know some people do see what I see, because even on Kelly Drive, I remember telling my ex-wife, like, damn, how do we get these buildings? And not till later on, after the buildings was bought, I saw how you can get the buildings. It's like people get mad at and actually he's a good person. He has Jumpstart Germantown, Ken Weinstein. He bought the Germantown High School for, I think, $150,000.
What?
It's not his fault that he knew how to get the building.
Right.
Like, if you don't know, you don't know. But who else tried? Don't be mad because somebody else did it. And you'll see that a lot, because somebody else knocked the ball out the park. You see other people angry at him, like, nah, he just did what he did, and he has the means to do it.
They see the after product of hard work.
Because see, whenever the city has a building for school sale, the government pays them their money already. The building's sold. So say if they sell me a building, say if they sell you Edison High School for $50,000, they're going to just put that in their loss column in the books, but the government already paid them for it. It just goes into our debt.
Wow.
Yeah, people don't know that. Like, you can buy them. Like, you can buy the commercial buildings like that. So you guys just be careful, because of certain ones that might be historically preserved.
Right.
You can't do but so much alterations to it. You know what I mean? But yeah, like,
that's crazy.
And shit, Ken Weinstein gave me my first loan in 2000s when I got my house on Monterey. So I shout out. He on Valley Green Bay, Ken Weinstein.
So look, how can someone get in contact with you?
Right now, they can hit me on Facebook. They can DM me on Facebook. It's Femi Swint. They can DM me on TikTok. I think it's at F150 Swint. Is that what it is, bro? Can you see what it is? Like at 150 Swint, F150 Swint, or something like that.
We're going to have all of these listed in the comments.
And it's Spike Media TV on Instagram.
Yeah, so we got
and I got a media company.
Yeah, right.
That's how we met, because I wanted to get...
That's exactly how we met. And look, and we still working on these things. Like, I didn't want to drop everything, because I know there's a lot of, like, even intellectual property that you own that people don't need to know about just yet. But, like,
I mean, we can edit it out.
Yeah.
We got the master editor back there. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out Keith Saunders in the back doing his things.
Absolutely.
Producing my first podcast. I appreciate you. We at the Hive right now. Shout out Jinya May Foundation. LTD, nonprofit organization, iGrind Nation. Everything is powered by iGrind Nation. and Mood and Senses. You already know shea butter, candles, the works. We have 60 products. We're in Walmart, Amazon.
Absolutely, he's wonderful.
We in there. So listen, big up Femi, good friend of the show. He's starting. Listen, you set the pace for something great here, and man, don't be afraid to come back because we're gonna do this a lot. This is an ongoing thing now. All right, I'm out of here. It's Keith Burroughs, What's Your Grind podcast. We wrapping up episode 1. We're going to give you short episodes, but the information is going to be concentrated. All right, you can follow me on Instagram at iGrindNationCEO or at Mood and Senses. All right, 1.